Anselm worked his entire life on the ontological argument. There were other arguments for God's existence, but they all rely on experience, and he just wasn't comfortable with that. So he worked and worked, and he actually was on the verge of giving up because he had not been able to come up with the argument he wanted. And then he had that aha moment in the shower. And it results in the ontological argument. Oh, it was wonderful. Oh, how marvelous. And so he writes it down. He's so excited. He writes to his friend Gaunilo. Gaunilo was a monk. Okay, so he believed in God. Gaunilo was a monk. And when he got Anselm's argument, Anselm was just so excited. He was like, Gaunilo, you've got to check this out. This is amazing. And so Gaunilo reads it, and he considers it, and he says, he writes a letter back. It says, Dear Annie, this is fantastic. This is wonderful. I'm inspired. I'm inspired to create my own argument. Please look it over. Islandia, by definition, is the greatest island possible. Suppose the greatest island possible exists only in the understanding, in the mind as a mental object. Then a greater island than the greatest island possible can be conceived, one existing not just in the understanding, but also in reality. For an island is greater if it exists in reality than if it exists only in the understanding. But this yields a contradiction. For an island greater than the greatest island possible is impossible. Therefore, Islandia, the greatest island possible, must exist in reality, not just in the understanding. Y'all see what he did, right? Gaunilo substituted the name Islandia for the name God, and the word island for the word being throughout the argument. Gaunilo described this lost perfect island as an island that is more beautiful than the Isles of the Blessed. He said something like more abundant in riches and fertility than all the lands combined. Okay, that was something along the lines of his description. Now, does this island exist? You should be saying no. This island does not exist. Gaunilo's point is that Anselm's argument can be used to prove, quote unquote, prove the existence of anything. Okay? We can do this with anything, okay? Goldie, by definition, is the greatest golden mountain possible. Suppose the greatest golden mountain possible exists only in the understanding, in the mind as a mental object. Then a greater golden mountain than the greatest golden mountain possible can be conceived, one existing not just in the understanding but also in reality. For a golden mountain is greater if it exists in reality than if it exists only in the understanding. But this yields a contradiction, for a golden mountain greater than the greatest golden mountain possible is impossible. Therefore, Goldie, the greatest golden mountain possible, must exist in reality, not just in the understanding. You're getting the idea, right? We can do this with anything, candy bars, unicorns, anything you want. Gaunilo's claim is that Anselm's argument works so very well, it proves the existence of things that don't exist. But if it proves the existence of things that don't exist, like perfect islands and golden mountains, we cannot trust the conclusion that God exists. Make sense? Now, Anselm didn't buy it. Anselm did not believe that this objection was substantial. Anselm believed that when you exchanged God, the greatest being possible, with anything that was going to be physical and concrete, that the argument would not work. You know, the greatest island possible, the greatest golden mountain possible. What makes that thing the greatest thing possible is going to be different for different people. I mean, how many coconuts are on your greatest island possible? How many waterfalls? There are going to be different answers for everybody. Personally, I think 4 waterfalls is a good number, but I want no coconuts because those things are hard and they grow on trees that are tall. And if one falls from the tree and hits me in the head, I'm out. No, thank you. Okay? So we are going to have differences of opinions. What makes the greatest island possible, the greatest golden mountain possible, is what we call indeterminate. But the greatest being possible, Anselm says, is a whole different story. It's very determinate what makes the greatest being possible. Omniscience, omnipotence, omnibenevolence. These are the big 3. For something to be the greatest being possible, it just can't lack, being all-powerful, all-knowing, or all-loving. So that's Anselm's response to the objection. Whether you think it's successful or not is, of course, up to you.